Coming to you live from the planet Navarro, it's the movie Change Up playthrough. As always, I'm your host, Joe Fricke. I'm joined by our actual player for this game, Tristan Mayer. For anyone who hasn't been watching our playthroughs, we're playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is a game that takes place about 4 or 5 years after Order 66. I have played through this game before. Tristan has not. So as he's playing through this game, anytime he has questions, not sure where to go, what to do, because this game can be confusing in that aspect, I serve kind of as the master to his Padawan and show him the ropes, show him where to go, what to do. I'm kind of the Obi-Wan Kenobi to his Anakin Skywalker, or the Jobi-Wan Kenobi to his Tristanican Skywalker, if you will. Tristan, we've been playing this game for a while. I think we're coming up on a prominent moment, maybe one of my favorite moments of the game. Uh, what are your thoughts on this game so far? Are you enjoying it? Would you want to play a sequel? Any?
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it actually. I think the gameplay has been really fun. There's frustrations here and there, like it's easy to get lost, and it's kind of some of it can be a little bit repetitive here and there. But as a whole, I'm having a really good time with it. The story's been great, the characters have been great, and just walking like look at we're about to walk around this whole planet. This looks nothing like anything I've ever seen in Star Wars, so I'm just really excited to check it out and run around. And of course, I'd play a sequel, especially if they could improve on some of the stuff that, like you mentioned, is a bit of a flaw here.
I still think it'd be interesting. So this is called. I'll let her talk.
I can handle it,
I know what you can do. I'm not denying that.
and I know what has to be done. I've done it before.
Cal, even the strongest of Jedi.
I'm not Trilla. I'll be fine.
I know you're not. I didn't say that.
I'm not asking you to say anything. It's okay, Seer. Really.
Just be safe, Cal. That's all.
And if you guys don't remember, we just found out in the last playthrough, I believe, that the second sister, the prominent inquisitor of this game, was in fact the apprentice of Syrah, the woman who's been training Kel throughout this game. So it's kind of, and that hasn't quite been addressed either yet. So I'm looking forward to how that's going to play out. How do I grab stuff?
I don't think you can climb that one. I think you
I
can
looked
jump
climbable
down
for
it.
a second.
So anyway, so I think this game, I don't want to spoil it too much, but I think it opens itself and leaves itself available for a direct sequel. But this game, every time I type it, always intrigues me because it's not Star Wars colon Jedi Fallen Order. It's Star Wars Jedi colon Fallen Order. So I'm curious if they have more ideas for that title of Star Wars Jedi colon whatever. I'd be down for a similar playstyle type of game called, Star Wars Jedi colon New Order or Rising Order that follows Luke Skywalker not long after Return of the Jedi, as he's like going around looking for our Jedi artifacts, trying to figure out what the history of the Jedi is. I think you could have holograms of characters we know and characters we don't. Like this one kind of has the same kind of scientist popping up explaining things, but I think how this has Seer, I think you could have a young Lor Santeca kind of as somewhat of his guide, someone that's been working as like an Indiana Jones type throughout Star Wars history. Maybe even a Dr. Aphra would be fun and interesting. Uh, but yeah, I think you could have like a Yoda hologram and all these various things pop up in the game, and I think that could be kind of fun and interesting. Or they just do a direct sequel with Cal Kestis.
Yeah, I don't know how the game ends, obviously, but you tell me they could do direct sequel, so I know it's a possibility. But I would much rather they went on with a different setting and different characters. I think it would be really fun to see this kind of a game in a totally different era of Star Wars and being able to explore the galaxy when it's
Yeah,
not quite as like war torn.
yeah. A High
And it seems
Republic
like it's
era.
always war torn, but
I think a High Republic era would be fun.
yeah, High Republic would be really fun because that's such an unexplored area. We have those books out in the comics and stuff like that, but it seems like something Disney wants to do a lot with.
Yeah. I think they're going to kind of finish up in this era. I think they have, stories they're planning on telling. They want to tell in the kind of Skywalker era of Star Wars. But I think after that, I think they're going to kind of branch more towards the High Republic era. Would not be shocked at all if the next movie is in the High Republic era at this point. Um,
Oh Jesus!
Maybe that's why a lot of the projects that they had announced are getting shelved because they're like, you know what? we're over the Skywalker era. You go to a narrow era, and you're not going to disappoint people because you're not contradicting headcanon, you know?
Yeah, and I think Star Wars is unique because I think they're starting to learn comparatively to other franchises that people are not as into like the repeating of the same characters and the same
Yeah.
beats anymore.
Yeah.
And the world of Star Wars is so uniquely primed for exploring other times and other settings.
And I think with a lot, because I saw someone post on Reddit of like, oh, like they want to see like,
Thanks, BD.
could we see something where Star Wars tells like post Return of the Jedi stories in live action with Alden Ehrenreich, Sebastian Stan, and Billy Lord as Princess Leia. And my response to that was, I think people were, when they were talking about wanting to see the characters together again, like in episode 7, 8, and 9, people cared more about seeing Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and Mark Hamill together on screen again more than they really cared about Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the love for the characters kind of is also tied to the love with the actors, and I think people have seen enough of these actors and these characters. They're ready for something new. It's not, they want. I think they're ready for something new in Star Wars and new characters, and that's why I think going to like the new High Republic or Old Republic is the best way to go. Obviously, I'm excited for Andor. I think Andor is going to be great. I think Kenobi's going to be great, but I think for the longevity of Star Wars and getting new fans and doing all that, I think moving to a different era would be the best and smartest move.
Yeah, I think so too. And new characters, new storylines.
BD.
Because I think people, especially in this last trilogy, did seem to be getting tired of how repetitive it started to feel.
Yeah.
And in that last one, it did feel to me like they had like nothing new to say about anything, and it was just like repeating a lot of the same beats and the same themes.
Yeah. And it's hard, like, how do you have these characters and, like, not tell anything that contradicts the themes of the previous ones, but you also have to tell new themes, and I can see where it's just, like, you feel locked into a corner.
Yeah, when you're dealing with legacy characters like that, it's hard not to fall back on the old stuff.
Yeah.
All right, where are we going?
We will
now?
talk more about this because anyone who doesn't know, I'm currently doing a canon rewatch of all of Star Wars. So anything that's, a video that's considered canon, whether it's a short TV episode, movie, whatever, I'm watching it in chronological order, and I'm currently just watched season 2, episode 1 of The Mandalorian last night. So in about 2 or 3 weeks, Tristan and I will be recording a conversation where I talk about my experience watching everything, how maybe my views of certain things have changed for the better or for the worse, and kind of any gaps I see that need to be filled in, which is contradictory to our conversation we just talked about moving out of this time period. But I think also, when you have a spot where you have gaps of 30, 40 years, I think you still have openings to tell stories.
Yeah, it'll be fun to have that conversation. I'm looking forward to it, and Disney Plus opens them up for opportunities. Like I don't imagine the Obi-Wan show is it's going to get a second season. I think it's going to be like, oh, here's
No,
a
that one
one-off thing
sounds
to
like one and
finale.
done. Yeah, that sounds one and done. Andor's rumors I've heard is 3 seasons, and they're long seasons. There's some people are questioning because I guess they filmed 12 episodes, and so people are like, okay, season 1, 12 episodes. But there's also some speculation that maybe they filmed season 1 and 2 back to back, and it's 6 episode seasons.
Interesting. That's a show that I think is really under the radar of people.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Obi-Wan. Everyone's talking about Ahsoka. Everyone's talking about Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian. But I could see Andor coming out and doing a lot of a lot of really interesting heavy lifting.
Yeah, I think Andor is going to be the fan favorite of the things, because I could see people not liking the direction of Kenobi for whatever reason. I think you're kind of locked into a corner with that show. I think half the fans are going to be happy and half the fans are going to be upset no matter what decision you make, because if you make the quiet A24 kind of introspective show, half your fans are going to say that show was boring and why does anyone care? But if you make the fun action, show where Obi-Wan's going on adventures and leaving Tatooine, the other half that would have liked the slow introspective show were like, oh, why'd he leave Tatooine? Isn't he supposed to be watching Luke? So I I've had the thought for a while that Kenobi, no matter how good it is, no matter how many Emmys it's nominated for or wins, it's going to be just as controversial as The Last Jedi.
Wow. I do think, yeah, Star Wars, especially what it uses as legacy characters, it feels like half the crowd wants it to just be a bunch of callbacks and tributes, and you can't change a single thing about them at all. And then the other half is like, let's completely subvert the narrative
Yeah.
and do something totally
Yeah.
different. And I, I don't know how you satisfy
Yeah.
both parties.
And I've of the mind where as long as if it's well written, well made, good, and I enjoy it, and it doesn't directly conflict with canon, maybe it's like, okay, I have to squint at a little bit, then I'm happy. But at no point in A New Hope do Vader or Obi-Wan say, "Hey, we have not fought in 19 years."
Yeah, there's just a tiny bit enough leeway there for them
Yeah.
to squeeze something in if they wanted to.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough. Well, okay, when did that conversation happen? Because that seems to contradict everything. There's so many conversations. As someone who has recently watched A New Hope, this will be a longer conversation in my review of Star Wars, the whole thing. But A New Hope kind of sticks out because that movie doesn't really gel with the rest of anything else. So
It is funny
I'm
to go
not
back
gonna
and watch that, and it's we'll
like.
talk about it more when we talk about it. But yeah,
Yeah, I want to
see
move
such a
on so I don't
simple movie.
completely spoil my conversation on it. But I have a lot of thoughts on A New Hope.
Doors, walls.
I do enjoy going back and watching that because it's like such a simple movie that spawned this like a ridiculously large universe. So
Yeah. All right,
But we'll talk
where are
more
we
about
at in the
that
game
later.
here? Because I've kind of I've been like looking, but I've been seeing it, but I haven't been watching it. What are we trying to get here? What are we trying to do?
I was really low on health, so I ran back to the save point to
Okay.
heal. But right now I'm trying to find the Astrium, which I'm not quite sure what that is, but I know that I gotta go this way. So
Yeah.
I've tried to remember what the Astrium is. I imagine it's some kind of tomb I'm gonna have to explore. That's
It's
gonna
a
have a lot of really complicated puzzles.
it's a trium that contains a picture of Kim Kardashian's booty, an astrium. Shout out Pete
You get-
Davidson.
Yeah, I was
living the
about to make
dream.
it. About to say Pete Davidson is really like giving everybody hope.
I never
Restoring hope to
understood.
the galaxy.
I never understood the Pete Davidson thing until I saw a TikTok where basically someone explained the difference of like the female gaze versus the male gaze, and I'm like, I get it now. Of like, guys think women want Thor, but women want Loki. So when a Pete Davidson, who is a Loki, attracts a woman, guys are like, that doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. And women are all like, why not?
Yeah, men are very much like, oh, hot woman, hot, and that's all they seem to think about sometimes.
Yeah, like what women view as what women think a hot guy looks like and what men think a hot guy should look like are two different things, I guess.
Find something? A warning?
Because I
Did you
guess
see that? Did you see that Pete Davidson was submitted for an Oscar for his role in Suicide Squad?
that's great. He should be. He should have been for King of Staten Island. Oh, have you seen the movie he did? The Big Adolescence or something like that. The Great Adolescence.
I didn't see that.
Did you watch King of Staten Island?
I did watch that.
What are your thoughts on King of Staten Island?
Surprisingly good. It wasn't one that like stuck out to me as the best of the year or anything like that, but it was one that I liked, and I thought his performance in particular was good. I think it would be fun to see him do, because it was so much of a semi-autobiographical kind of thing, where he was kind of commenting on his own life and the loss he experienced and how that affected him, and yeah, I thought it was interesting, and I would like to see him do more like dramatic comedy type work.
You should watch Big Time Adolescence. It's currently on Hulu. Came out in 2019. He basically plays a similar type role, but it's from like so. Basically, the overall general plot is he, from the time he was like an early high schooler, he had like the same girlfriend for like 3 or 4 years, like basically all throughout high school. And during that time, he became friends with his girlfriend's little brother, who was a 4 or 5 years younger than him. And then his him and his high school girlfriend break up kind of at the end of high school, but he still hangs out with her high school age little brother, even though he's like 20 years old. And that's kind of the kickoff point of the movie. And
I'd be willing to check that out.
yeah, it's on Hulu right now. John Cryer plays the kid's dad. That's kind of goes toe to toe with Pete Davidson, and that's kind of a fun dynamic.
An outsider, not from the
Lex Luthor.
Yeah. If you watched American Vandal on Netflix, the main kid from American Vandal is like the kid that's friends with Pete Davidson.
Oh, okay,
His
yeah.
name's Griffin Gluck.
I did see that.
He also stars in Lock and Key and Just Go With It and Why Him. Yeah, so check out, if you were a fan of Big Time Adolescence, check out, or no, sorry, if you were a fan of King of Staten Island, check out Big Time Adolescence on Hulu.
He has that like man-child
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
appeal to him. So I think he'd work well in that kind of a role where he's just hanging out with a little kid the whole time. I don't know what I accomplished here, but I unlocked this door,
That's nice.
and I felt very proud of myself afterwards. Oh shit!
Hey,
Yeah.
BD.
Gave you a good sense of pride and accomplishment. So thanks, EA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see
Yeah.
Pete Davidson do more stuff.
Tristan.
Yeah, I think he of the SNL actors right now, he definitely has like the most interesting career ahead of him potentially, depending on how he picks his projects. Oh, what the hell? The dying smash.
Yeah, SNL's like weird how no one I know really watches it week to week, but yet a lot of the people on it still become famous somehow.
I watch it like occasionally, you know.
If the host is someone I really care about, I'll watch it, but if I don't really have an interest in the host, I don't really watch it. Like when Dave Chappelle hosted, I watched it. Someone else hosted recently, and I watched it, but I can't remember.
I
who it
watched
was.
Jonathan Majors Taylor Swift episode.
Ah, yeah.
That
I
was
saw the
pretty good.
clip. There was a clip of that I watched.
You put Taylor Swift on anything, I'll just watch it. I don't even care what it is.
Yeah.
I went and saw the Valentine's Day she was in for like not even.
She's trying to do my boy
Anything.
Jake Gyllenhaal dirty. It's like you dated for 3 months 11 years ago. Get over it, woman.
I know. I do feel like it's a little weird to be bringing that up so
Like I
many
understand.
years later.
Like how bad could it have been? That's my thing. Of like people are just in not great relationships, and like people are still trying to be mad at Jake Gyllenhaal 10 years later. It's like they dated for 3 months. Like I wouldn't if I 11 years later I wouldn't even remember someone I dated for 3 months. I mean, granted, if
Yeah.
it's like a superstar famous person, every time their name's brought up, you're gonna think about it. But like,
There was a weird element of age difference that was in a lot of her early relationships that
But
I think
then-
was somewhat problematic.
but she was also 23 dating a 17-year-old, and no one seems to ever bring that up.
In the end, it resulted in one of the greatest pop songs ever written, so I feel
What-
like it was worth it.
Which one?
All Too Well, now a 10-minute anthem.
Oh,
to,
the Jake Gyllenhaal. I thought you meant the one that when she was 23 dating a 17-year-old.
I'll be honest, even as a Taylor Swift fan, I have very little interest in the moment-to-moment drama of who's dating who in their lives.
I only know that it was because people bring that up of like talking shit about Jake Gyllenhaal being 30 dating her when she was 20. Of like, well, you can talk shit about that, but then you also kind of have to talk shit about the. It just scrolls along my TikTok, man. Okay, things pop up that I don't care about, but you still learn things that you don't care about. And Taylor Swift drama's been all over TikTok this week.
Of course, people were ready to
Obsessed.
hunt down Jake Gyllenhaal.
I know. Over a
I felt
scarf.
bad for that guy. I was like, my goodness, it's been a while. Why? It's a little strange to be making it so vicious at this point.
Swifties, they go hard, man.
I am very involved in the Taylor Swift fandom of Twitter, so I follow tons of people on there who are like Taylor Swift diehards. These guys are wrecking my
I don't get any like personal diehards. I get like diehard fans of like Michigan State football and like the Detroit Lions
Oh Jesus,
and Star
where
Wars.
am I at? Oh boy, no, no, no! So close. I knew I was gonna die there.
R.I.P.
Good lord.
Cal Kestis. Gone
I
but not
saw that
forgotten.
spawn point right there. What? Well, that's a rough one. Where am I gonna be at, Joe? I was right at the safe spot. Didn't realize I had to pull that thing. Oh Jesus. Okay.
Ooh,
Let's
back to
go.
Star Wars conversation. So, Kevin Feige let it known that he's currently working with ScarJo on, some projects. Because apparently their relationship hasn't soured, just her relationship with Disney, maybe.
Yeah, Kevin Feige had some pretty harsh words about Disney back in that situation.
Yeah,
He seemed like he was very much appalled by the situation.
yeah.
What is happening? I'm like frozen right now. I think I'm glitched. Oh
Shit.
no.
R.I.P. Tristan.
Look at him. He's really trying to use the force. My controller's shaking really hard, but I cannot move. I'm frozen.
So,
This.
Kevin Feige is also producing a Star Wars movie. Would you like to see Scarlett Johansson in Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie?
That's an interesting point. I didn't think about that, but
Is your controller dead? R.I.P. controller.
it's not dead. It's on. It's just not reading as being used by this game.
No one likes to be used.
Yeah, that's true. It's speaking for its own mind, you know. Let's see what is going on here. So, what do you think that ScarJo project is that they're working on together at Marvel?
I don't know. Maybe something cool. Maybe like an animated Black Widow show or something. I can't
He did
imagine
say
it'd be
it was a non-Black Widow movie.
a non-Black Widow that she's producing. Do you think it could non-Black Widow movie?
They said a super secret Marvel movie that's not Black Widow was essentially what
Okay,
the quote
super
was.
secret Marvel movie that's not Black Widow. So, I'm gonna guess that it's probably female centric.
Mm-hmm.
Just speculation. Maybe something centered around like Yelena, her sister
Mm-hmm.
in Black Widow's sister in the comics. Florence Pugh, I think, is like on the verge of being a big enough star to carry her own movie, especially with the MCU brand.
Oh my goodness.
So I could see it being that. As Yelena
Is that really a non-Black Widow movie? If Elena is essentially like gonna be the new Black
if she's
Widow?
White Widow. If she's White Widow, that's a non-Black Widow movie.
That's true.
I think by saying non-Black Widow movie, you're just you're not really hinting at the character. You're just letting it be known that like, this is a project I'm working on with Scarlett Johansson behind the scenes. Don't expect her to be in it.
Yeah, she's not gonna show up. Black Widow's not alive. You know, that was kind of what he was saying. I think.
Yeah, so I think by being like a White Widow movie, or a Yelena, whatever they want to call it, a Florence Pugh centered movie, I'm not, even if they call her Black Widow in the movie, I'm not saying Kevin Feige's a liar, because I think more what he's trying to get across is I'm working with her behind. If you see Scarlett Johansson around the MCU offices, that doesn't mean she's about to be in something. Is more, I think, what he was saying.
Mm-hmm. And it was a nice speech. And I thought he did a good job of like, you know, mending the ties of something that could have very easily gone extremely bad for both people. Like between Scarlett Johansson and Disney, that could have been a really sour relationship. And I think, from reading between the lines, I think Kevin Feige kind of single-handedly saved that from going super south.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin Feige says something to the top people at Disney, and they probably listen, because
he did have a quote back in the prominence of that drama where he said it was felt like a personal insult to not be paying actors with their worth.
Yeah.
So I think he had a big role in saying like, no, we cannot keep this going. We're gonna.
Yeah, because, like, people are like, oh, well, she got paid millions of dollars. It's like, yeah, but she also took a certain level of a pay cut with getting the back end in her contract, thinking the movie would actually be released, like, prominently in theaters. And so she wouldn't have taken that pay cut at the front end if she wasn't going to get anything on the back end, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
And in the end, like people should be paid what they're valued to be paid, and what
Scarlett
their contract says they
Johansson's
should be paid.
Scarlett Johansson's the biggest female movie star on the planet. She's, I think,
Or
of
none.
the only Avengers I've seen that has been able to make a successful movie, star in a successful movie outside of the MCU. Lucy, as not good as that movie was very financially successful, and I don't know of a single other Avenger of the main Avengers core. I'm not counting like Black Panther, but like the OG Avengers that has led a successful movie outside of the MCU since the MCU started.
Yeah, not just blockbuster hits, but you had Marriage Story. It was like a big Oscar
Yeah.
critic darling type movie. She can
Yeah.
handle both sides of the industry in a way that I just don't think a lot of the other actors can.
Yeah.
You know, Chris
Yeah.
Hemsworth, really
Yeah.
attractive guy, really charismatic, funny guy,
But
but
like Black Hat was nothing. Rush
yes.
Rush was a big critic success, and that's kind of I would say Rush is his biggest success outside of the MCU.
Maybe Ghostbusters. He wasn't the lead, but he was a really
Yeah, like he was
one of the
funny in
better
that, but
parts of it.
like the movie itself wasn't like good. And he was like good in it. Like Chris, I'm sure you could say he's good in stuff, but
Something about her is familiar.
like even Chris Evans, I guess, was in Knives Out, but that's not really like a Chris Evans led movie that everyone's seeing it because it's a Chris Evans movie.
Yeah, I think Chris Evans has a strong potential of being a movie star type guy outside of the Avengers. But
Yeah, like he's number 2, but still, if I'm gonna say original Avengers movie stars.
even
Scarlett
Robert Downey
Johansson's
Jr.
one.
I mean, he had Sherlock Holmes and stuff, but
Most of that was pre-MCU though.
yeah,
Like he did the Judge and Doctor Dolittle and all this stuff post MCU, like both sides, like the critic type movies that failed and the like big budget movies that also failed.
you wonder if he's one of those actors that ultimately will hurt his long-term career because of Tony Stark. Like he's gonna make enough money that he could just never work again if he really wanted to. But I just don't see people looking at him and not seeing Tony Stark.
Yeah.
he would like embody that character so well.
Yeah.
All right, we're making progress, Joe.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's like the only person that's left the MCU that I'm not really like concerned for their career. Like Chris Hemsworth, there's like a little bit concerned for his career, but I think he'll be okay. Like Scarlett Johansson, like she'll be fine. Like Chris Hemsworth would be dumb to ever leave the MCU.
I don't know how much more he signed for them or not. But yeah, I think he has to know he's got a hit on his hands with Thor, especially with Taika Waititi. I think he
It's
kind
like
of
they
revitalized
just
that
got
character
that
so
thing
well.
going. If Thor 3 was like bad, I could see him like being close to done, but it almost feels like that character's like just started.
And I'm really excited to see how he blends in with the Guardians
Yeah.
of the Galaxy, who I think are going to be in Thor. And I'd imagine he'd be in Guardians.
Yeah. As much as people don't like him, I think Chris Pratt's up there is probably. I mean, of the people currently in the MCU, he might be number 1 for biggest movie star outside of the MCU.
For sure. He's got a lot of work for himself.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park
He's in
is a
everything.
really successful franchise for him.
He's in Mario. He's in Garfield. You know.
Yeah, I don't know about those two, but I think his other work is really good. Oh, shoot. No!
I'd like to see him do something like more serious. Like, what was that space movie that was bad that I didn't watch?
The space movie that was bad, Tomorrow War?
No, the one with
That
Jennifer
wasn't that
Lawrence.
bad. Oh, The Passengers? That was pretty bad.
Passengers, yeah. I didn't see Tomorrow War or Passengers, but I want to see him do like a somewhat of a career change and do more like that instead of like goofy comedy, dumb shit.
Yeah, Passengers is a problematic movie.
I don't know. I didn't watch it. All I know is everyone that I've heard that's watched both movies said both movies would be better if you switched the leads of Passengers and Valerian. If Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence were the stars of Valerian, and Dane DeHaan and what's her face, Cara Delevingne were the star of Passengers, both movies would be better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the stars is going to change Passenger. I think the plot had most of the problems there.
Yeah. Well, I think it was more just like the vibe of the characters would fit better. Like Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence would definitely have been better in Valerian than Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne. I've never seen a movie have such an amazing opening and then the rest of the movie is just blah, like Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. If we were to do a Mount Rushmore for movie openings, I might put Valerian in there. The problem is the rest of the movie is so bad. It's not bad, but just like whatever, like so mediocre.
I don't. I don't think I saw it. I may have forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Because if it was that mediocre, it could have just gone through my brain and come out the other side.
Yeah, it's directed by Luc Besson.
I do remember being excited for it at the time because I bought like a nice hardcover edition of the old comics and I was reading them, and
Oh, did
so
you
I
talk to
imagine if
this
I was
guy?
that into it, I probably saw the movie because
Long enough.
I spent a good amount of money on that
Spoke
book.
about the sanctum I was in need, shelter when I was weak, and enlightenment when I was lost. Right.
Yeah, if you guys are wondering, we did come to this planet earlier and made a death run to get this AA lightsaber, so I did talk to that guy before. So that plot is done. There's the objective up there. I also have a door that I was trying to get into way down there, but I'll leave that for later. Let's see what we got to do here. I'm a type of person who wants to cover like every single inch of the map in a video game, just in case, you know? You could find the meaning of life in some corner of the galaxy here.
It's 42, man. That's a reference to a thing I don't even watch or care about or know.
I read the book. I saw the movie. The movie was alright. I liked the book though.
Yeah, I've never seen either.
And there's several adaptations, so I've always thought about watching one of the other ones.
Yeah. And I guess like the writer or whatever, I can't remember his name. I can't even remember what the property's called right now. That's how much I'm blanking.
The Hitchhiker's Guide.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, yeah. Like the writers, like he wants people to adapt it, but he's like, oh, if you adapt it, like you need to make changes. Like don't do a one-to-one adaptation. That's dumb. The story's already been told. You gotta change stuff if you're gonna adapt it.
I like that stance.
And like I guess that's basically what people have done every time.
I just read the book like last year during the shutdown. I ended up picking up a lot of like books based or like books that I'd seen the movie version of, you know. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna like read the source material of these things.
Yeah.
And I liked that quite a lot, considering I was not very impressed by the Martin Freeman movie.
I guess there's like a BBC like TV miniseries or something that's supposed to be good.
Yeah, that's the one that I've thought about watching since I read it.
Yeah.
A lot of Star Wars in that too.
It's to me Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reminds me a lot of anime of like in Doctor Who, of the people that like it love it so much that they're like annoyingly obsessed with it that it kind of turns me off of it.
I understand that. I have some fandoms like that where they're so intensely devoted to it that I just think like there's no possible way it's as good as you saying it's at this point. Like I'm just gonna be disappointed if I watch this.
Yeah, like Attack on Titan, I'm just never gonna watch it because everyone I've seen talk about it is like annoyingly obsessed with it and acts like it's the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, I doubt it's that good.
Anime is such a blind spot for me. Like I've watched a handful of the top shows or whatever, but it's never something that super resonated with me. And like I'll watch something like I watch Evangelion, the robot kind of sci-fi show, and I'll really like it. But even one of the most acclaimed animes of all time is still like not doesn't even hold a candle to like a B tier TV show for me. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I stopped watching anime after Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. So I'd come home from school every day and they had Pokemon at 3:30, or no, they had Pokemon at 4 and Yu-Gi-Oh at 4:30 on Cartoon Network.
You will go no further.
Stand aside.
No. He was right about you.
Ooh, what?
Jedi are thieves and selfish liars who bring
it's my
nothing
girl.
but death.
Back off. If you attack me again, I'll strike you down.
Ooh.
Oh, I won't do a thing. But my murdered sisters.
This is where you run. Very, very
Yeah, I have a
fast.
feeling this is gonna go really badly.
They will have their revenge.
The Night Sisters look so ridiculously cool.
Can we get a
I
Night
was curious.
Sisters series, like an animated series on Disney Plus? That's what I want. Like a what's her face, Mother Talzin origin story on Disney Plus.
Let's check it out.
Wrecked them there. Night Sisters ain't shit. Nowhere else to go. Oh, there we go.
More undead.
Yeah. Ooh, nice! I got my third skill point. I'm gonna be able to get my lightsaber throw next time I get to a rest spot, unless
Nice.
I get wrecked and lose all my points.
Dathomir would be such a terrifying. Dathomir's like the Australia of planets. Of like everything here can kill you. It's the home planet of fucking Darth Maul, the Rancor, the Night Sisters. Like this is not a planet meant to be hospitable.
Yeah, I'm liking this because yeah, it feels so different than the other planets, and like you said, it feels like a place you should just like not be at, you know.
Of all the places you should not be, Dathomir is one of them.
I think I'll be good. I'm trying to figure out how to unlock that door down there before I move on. But I don't know if I can unlock it from here or not. Doesn't look like it. Almost fell there. Oh, jeez. Get out of here.
Jesus.
Terrifying. A double-bladed lightsaber is like a slices through people, man.
Yeah.
You will pay.
It's almost like that's what it was designed for.
I know. You feel like you're actually using a lightsaber, but I feel like when I'm on the single blade, I'm just like, it's like going right through people. Let me get, let go of me. Oh, God. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't heal in time. Didn't look at my health. It's okay.
Talk about a
I got
fallen
this.
order.
The order has truly fallen.
Yep. Can't wait till your last fight of the game. The big battle.
It's a big battle.
Yeah. Well, a 1v1 battle.
Ooh. Curious. Oop. Forget those guys that keep having acid. Boy. I feel like I definitely was supposed to open this door first because now I have to go all the way around again.
Round and round. What goes around comes around.
You're a great singer, Joe. Hey guys. Yep.
Tristan!
Who would win in a fight to the death? Cal Kestis or Ezra Bridger?
Oh, that's a tough call. I think like Ezra has so much combat experience, especially if you're talking like by the end of Rebels. Like if he shows up from the outer reaches with Thrawn right now and tries to fight Cal Kestis, I think Cal gets wrecked.
Yeah.
But I think if you're talking like Kid Ezra, like season 1 Ezra,
Yeah.
it's going to be a much harder fight for him. Move it out.
Stim BD!
That was a close call there.
Mind helping me out?
Almost got self killed. All right. 4 guys up there. Yep, don't fall. Okay. I'm good. I got all my points back and everything. I'm good. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. Piece of shit.
Fuck you, bitch.
How does that Night Sister keep following us? So you're
Mhm.
called the
Magic, dummy.
I've never seen it used this way before. We better stay on our toes.
Reminds me of The Dark Knight Rises. That little, like, climb out scene.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
with that flying
When he climbs out Lazarus pit.
Yeah.
Let's hope we don't find out.
Oops. Am I dumb? Oh, yes, I'm just dumb. Alright. How's my health doing? New objective. Explore Dathomir to find a way back to the ruins. There's some dudes I could fight.
Night Brother runes. Think we're getting close to a village?
Come at me.
Cannot hide your weakness. Makes us example. I coward.
Oop.
Slowly, brother.
Should I dive out of the way that physically?
Fight me!
We can win, brother.
I wish I had a weird magic mace that I could swing at people.
That'd be fun. Alright, now force. I was about to push him off the ledge.
Brothers, attack! You can't win, outsiders.
Oh, you're losing health.
I'm getting hit pretty bad. Nope, run. Let's reassess for a second. Alright. So close. I forgot I was here. Very nice. I'll take it. There's a door right there that I do want to get to, but it tells me that this is where I'm supposed to actually go. This looks like a shortcut, so I'm going to go ahead and activate this thing.
Oh, oh.
God, I could do the cheat, but I can't do it. Cheese. Ah, here's the door I wanted to unlock. Look at that, Joe. Shortcut unlocked.
Use the force, Luke.
Want to look inside? Okay, BD. What is it?
New lightsaber thing. Oh, I should probably heal before I go fight this guy.
Well, if you heal, all of them are gonna show back up.
Yeah, but I'll have more than one hit of health.
Yeah, that's true.
I got this. I feel confident now, Joe. We're about to run through this thing. When I can get my lightsaber throw, that'll be a big one.
Watch, they upped it to 4.
Power throw. No, I have to do the actual throw. Lightsaber throw. Oh, shit, I don't have the path. I gotta get this first.
Yeah.
Attacking out of a sprint. Okay. Well, I'm almost there. I gotta get one more point. That looks fun. 1 point away, and I'll have my lightsaber throw. Let's go kill a bunch of Mauls.
Ooh, damn it! God damn it!
What happened?
They dropped Sabine casting news 5 hours ago, and we didn't talk
Are
about
you
it.
serious?
Yeah.
Who did they cast?
Natasha Liu Bordizzo from the Society.
We do live in a society after all, so
And
I
we
don't know
did
the
not
Society.
talk about it.
wow, that's pretty rough. And we were like, man, there's really no news to talk about this week.
God, we're fucking
Sitting
stupid.
there on a Sabine casting news. I'm gonna take a. Well, I don't know what I have on this.
And I was like on Star Wars Leaks like 5 hours ago would have been roughly 4:30. Oh, that's why. Cause like right, it would have been. They probably posted it like right after I left work. Cause last thing I did before I left work at 4:30 today, which would have been 3:30 your time, was check Star Wars Leaks. I'm like, okay, is there any Star Wars news? And then right after I left work, they must have announced it.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's get my screen back up real quick.
You want to see what she looked like?
Fill this audio. All right, what we got here? Sabine Wren news. Let's go to Deadline. She looks perfect for the part. Look at that.
Yeah.
I do not know the society, but she's a lead as a opposite Rosario Dawson. So, I mean, that like 100% confirms that this is.
Yeah, if
Ahsoka hunting for
Deadline
Ezra.
is like, might as well. Yeah. Like, I'm fully believing season. Maybe I'm wrong, but my thought process is season 1 was her getting to being the white. Like Ahsoka the White, essentially, in. At the end of Rebels in that epilogue, but maybe that's where it starts.
Good for her. I like that Star Wars has a history of like taking these relatively unknown people who have like 1 or 2 credits to their name, and then rather than big celebrities and stars, you know. The Voyeurs. I saw her in The Voyeurs. I wouldn't recognize. I think she was. Can't even remember who she was in that. Oh, Julia. I think she was. I can't. Well, I just watched that and I don't remember who she was in it. Guns Akimbo. I watched that also. So I've seen her in stuff. But very cool. I like that casting, and that's really exciting because I think Sabine and a lot of the characters in Rebels are some of the more interesting characters of. Oops, go away, malware bites. I don't want you. Certainly, some of the most interesting characters in Star Wars. Honestly, I really like the whole crew of Rebels. So I would hope that we get Ezra in there. You know, I'm sure that's essentially like the plot of the show is going to be like find Ezra.
Yeah. I mean, we know who it's gonna be. They just haven't fucking confirmed it yet. Just
I don't know if we
confirm
know.
it. We know.
We might.
Do you not know?
I don't know. I mean, I know I've heard the name leaked. I can't say off the top of my head, but I know that it's been out there. But I just don't know if I trust Star Wars leaks sometimes. Things change.
Well, Rosario Dawson liked and commented on a post by one of the leakers that
Oh
said
well.
who, and was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for them." So, or
Oh
whatever
well, that
she
gives it
said.
away.
Yeah. Do you
Who is
want?
it?
Do you want to know?
Yeah, give me a
Mina
name.
Massoud, most notably known for playing Aladdin in the live-action Aladdin remake, has been
That's
cast as
right.
Ezra, and Lars Mikkelsen, who is the voice of Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels, has been cast to play Thrawn in live action in Ahsoka. So,
Interesting. I like. Wow. Interesting choice to use a voice actor for Thrawn and not for like on the other characters.
I think part of it is like none of them really look like it. Like Ahsoka is East Asian looking, but Tia Sakar is like South Asian. Um, Ezra looks Middle Eastern, maybe like Southern Italian, and the voice actor who played him is very much like a white guy. Like I would not be surprised if Vanessa Marshall plays Hera. I think they've done a pretty decent job. Fen Rao, who was voiced by Kevin McKidd, looks just like Kevin McKidd, and Fen Rao has been seen on the set of The Mandalorian
Oh,
season
boy.
3. So,
Oh Jesus! Why did you do that, Cal?
in Mandalorian armor.
You're gonna get us killed.
Someone was hunted here.
Spoiler alert for Mandalorian season 3 for anyone that wanted that surprise, I guess.
I'm looking forward to Mandalorian season 3. It'll be interesting to do week to week coverage of it, and
Yeah,
they're in an interesting place with the show.
yeah.
Where
Like
I just have no idea what they're gonna do next.
Yeah, I think for the actors that can play them in live action, they've done that, but for like some of them, they obviously can't. Like they replaced, like David Oyelowo can't really play Agent Callus in live action. You know?
No, you're right. It would look a little off from
Yeah,
the animated counterpart.
yeah. So he got replaced for a certain show that I don't want to spoil.
Interesting.
I don't know if you know or not, so I didn't want to say it.
For some reason, also Star Wars leaks like that just miss me.
Well, I go on the Star Wars Leaks subreddit like 6 times a day, so
Oh, it's like me with Marvel. Any Marvel leaker spoiler, I'm like wanting it so bad. And I don't know why, 'cause I'm not like particularly invested in the franchise. You
you
cannot
probably
stop us all.
won't be happy about it though, because you don't like connections and characters from things popping up in other things.
Well, I mean, it's fine when it's here and there, you know.
Yeah.
I don't hate all connections, just when the
How
plot
would-
has to go in circles to make it work. You know.
How would you feel about a younger Agent Callus appearing in Kenobi?
I think that would work really well, honestly.
Well, a
Like-
young Agent Callus is appearing in Kenobi, so
I like it. I mean, that's the type of thing. It's Agent Callus is not like a. It's not Luke Skywalker showing up in a show, you know.
that
Like,
fits and makes sense of when he shows up. Got it.
according to you.
According to a Jedi had to show up to take fucking Yoda, or not Yoda, Baby Yoda, Grogu, so they took the fucking one Jedi that's alive that showed up.
But he just shows up with like zero setup, absolutely no
'Cause Grogu
explanation
calls
for how
out-
he knows where they're at.
Because Grogu calls out to him in the Force, so he can probably feel him through the Force. Luke Skywalker's a powerful, strong Jedi, man. He can feel him through the Force. Grogu's a strong, powerful Force user too. They could probably feel each other.
Yeah, Jesus.
Fuck. BD.
So when we see Agent Callus and Obi-Wan, he'll be before his turn to the rebellion. So I'm sure he'll be like fighting
fucking
directly
dick.
against Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Those are the types of connections I actually like when they bring in like extremely or somewhat minor characters and like give them a chance to shine. You know, especially characters we haven't gotten a chance to see in live action before. Like I thought that was really cool. I can't remember the character's name now, but in the first episode of season 2 of Mandalorian, we have the guy who at one point had
Cobb
Boba
Vanth.
Fett's
Yeah, I
armor.
just watched
Yeah,
that
Cobb
one
Vanth.
from the book.
Pay for the Jedi sin.
And I do remember like reading that book and being like hyped for this character and really interested to see like how this all connects and is it Boba Fett, is it not? Because the first aftermath left it a little bit vague of who this character actually was.
Yeah.
All right, we're making some steps forward now.
And the Boba Fett reveal at the end. Oh, amazing.
So you can jump high. You will fall before.
Or like, what's her face? Fennec Shand popping up in Bad Batch.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and make a run here. Not the right way. Yeah, those things have some gnarly aim.
The Jedi. You cannot stand against us. You're strong enough.
Alright, a lot of fighting to do.
So do we basically see everyone that prominently appeared in Rogue One in Andor as far as like returning characters, like Mon Mothma, Saw Gerrera, Bail Organa?
Yeah, I think we see all of them. Like the leadership role type people. I don't think we see like Jyn Erso or
No,
like the cast
Like
of Rogue
Jyn,
One.
we don't
that
see like
team,
the
you
main
know.
prominent cast, no, because they didn't know each other and it'd be weird.
Yeah, that would
They're all
feel
too
they
like
have to
famous of
manipulate the
actors
plot
too to
just
like
give
appear as like a
people stuff.
cameo too.
Yeah, that actress for Mon Mothma is essentially known for playing Mon Mothma in a deleted scene from a movie that she wasn't even in.
Yeah.
So I think she'd be happy to come back and do it again.
Yeah. Like she came back to voice the character on Rebels too. And
Jimmy Smits is a great character actor who shows up at all kinds of stuff as like the supporting guy, so I'm sure he'd be down for it. He's a working actor type of actor, you know.
yeah. And like Star Wars puts actors on the map, you know. Like
Yeah, like this woman playing Sabine is gonna go up from a practical no one to everyone seeing her in something.
like Jimmy Smits appearing as like a prominent role on Andor is kind of like maybe in 3-4 episodes we'll get him like auditions for other shit, you know.
Jimmy Smits is far from like a Star Wars actor though. Like he has so much other work.
Yeah, I know that. Like he was on NYPD Blue and he was on that show that I forget, West Wing and other stuff too. But it still like puts him out, and it like his agent can be like, "Hey, he's on this popular Star Wars show," you know.
Yeah, he's still in stuff. You know, he's still working and stuff.
Yeah, but like as far as like selling an actor, like you can
Yeah,
use
of
Star
course.
Wars to like sell their popularity. Like, okay, he's popular now, more people are gonna recognize him. You can use him to sell your show now that he's prominently been in the Star Wars show. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's not
puts
so
him
much
back in
like
the radar. You know.
It's not so much like making agents aware, you know, and showrunners aware that he can act. It's more of like, hey, you can use him to sell your show now to more people.
Shout out to In the Heights.
Yeah, that shitty movie. The movie sucks.
I thought it was pretty good.
I did not actually watch it. It's just they sing in it, so it's not good.
Oh, you're right.
I don't know. It might be good. Who knows? You know what's a good singing movie? Sing Street.
That is a great movie.
I like Sing Street a lot. Saw Gerrera is the one I'm like, I don't know if I want him to appear in Andor. I like tried watching Rogue One with the mindset of like, okay, have these two characters met, and I couldn't. I think it's like open enough that you can kind of go either way with it. Oh,
Yeah, I haven't watched Rogue One in a long time, so it
yeah,
might be one to go back and watch, obviously before Andor.
yeah. It's been like a week or two for me, but I was watching it with that in mind of like have these two characters met, and like the vibe I got was you can go either way.
Come on. And I don't necessarily think like if he's in the show, he doesn't even have to meet Andor
That's
theoretically.
true.
Like,
Yeah, he can like go on a mission and like botch it, and they're like, oh, we gotta send Andor in. But I like everything I'm hearing that this is like James Bond and Star Wars. Essentially, it's like what the plot is gonna be, or like what the vibe of the show is. Like a John le Carre novel meets James Bond in Star Wars.
that sounds great to me. We just had a whole marathon of Bond movies, and I'm like
Yeah.
become a fan of the franchise. So you mix Bond and then
Oh,
like
okay, so he has to go to Canto Bight, right?
I hope so.
That'd be if you're gonna like, pay homage and reference James Bond. There's no way he doesn't go to Canto Bight.
It would be cool to see Canto Bight again.
Yeah,
And
people
it'd be
hate on
funny
that
'cause
scene. I
people
like
hated
that
it so
scene.
much.
People just got mad at the scene because they're dumb. That's my theory.
I do think its biggest problem is that it just doesn't really connect to the direct plot of the movie. So I think if people are
Yeah.
watching it for like
It's
the
more of
plot,
like,
they're gonna be like,
yeah.
"What is this?"
It's more of an emotional connection of fully. Because if you watch The Force Awakens, at no point does Finn ever care about the Resistance or anything. He cares about Rey, and he cares about saving Rey. That's the whole. Everything else, it's like he legitimately puts the Resistance at risk at the end of The Force Awakens to help save Rey. His whole
Why is it
mission,
meditating?
in Canto Bight with meeting DJ and doing all that is to push him from going beyond to you can't just say the First Order is bad. Like that's not enough essentially. You have to say the First Order is bad and join the, Resistance.
Yeah,
But
I
people
liked
are
it
dumb.
thematically because it did feel like you have to pick a side. You can't just be like, "Oh, sure, the bad guys are bad, but what am I going to do about it?" Like,
But people are
and I also like the ending with the broom boy, and it was like
Yeah.
the impact of the actions of these heroes that you don't see can inspire like the next generation of people to change the world.
yeah,
Be your famous Jedi.
yeah.
Turn that Jedi.
Ryan Johnson tried to make a movie that made people like think and question things, and people were just like, "What?" And we're like, "I my brain hurts. This sucks."
It'll be fun to do a live watch of that movie when you
Yeah.
reach that point.
I got season 2 of Mandalorian to watch, and like season 1 of Resistance, and then that'll be
boy.
Force Awakens. Resistance is gonna suck. You want to watch Resistance with me?
I haven't even seen that one.
Don't.
I watched a
It
couple
sucks.
episodes and I was like, nope.
It's well made for 7-year-olds. I'll say that.
And I was like, oh, I mean, I wanted more of the sequel characters, and I was like, oh,
Help me, BD.
more Kylo Ren, like more Poe Dameron, like that sounds good to me, but not good enough to make me watch a genuine kid show. Like Clone Wars, Rebels are kid shows, but they're still like doing a little bit of work to appeal
Well, I
beyond
think
that
the thing is,
demographic.
Clone Wars, Rebels, and Bad Batch are made for like 13, 14-year-olds. So if you're, in your 20s and beyond, there's still stuff there for you to enjoy. Resistance is legitimately made for 7-year-olds, so
Yeah, it's
there's
like
less
reviewing
there for
like
you.
Forces of Destiny or something, and it's like this is just not for me at all.
And Forces of Destiny, I could, watch and enjoy throughout because they're like 3 minutes long.
Ah, please die. Okay.
And watching it in chronological order was cool because you like saw Ahsoka switch from the single-bladed lightsaber to the double-bladed, which was cool.
In here, BD.
And that's like a Resistance, or and that's a whatever short, Forces of Destiny short. And like you got cool stuff with Padme and weird stuff with Luke. The Luke stuff was all weird because it was voiced by Mark Hamill, but it was all like original trilogy era. And so you just
That
have
is weird.
the voice of a 70-year-old man coming out of this 20-year-old, basically.
Freddie Prinze Jr. playing like a
Yeah.
10-year-old Kanan.
Yeah.
Sacrifices. Set an example.
just want Hondo to appear in one of these shows, damn it.
Andor, I think, is like of the shows I think the most likely, even but not particularly likely.
See, my vote would be Kenobi just because of their connection.
That's a good idea.
I
I
think
was thinking
I
on
think
like the crime
Kenobi
side of things.
trying to be all discreet and like everything, and then he like is in a bar looking for a ride, and he runs into Hondo, and he basically has to convince Hondo to like not rat him out and work with him for an episode.
Uh,
I think you got to push it over to there and climb up that shit. Yeah, Padawan.
I know. Look, I'm learning and growing. You know.
Yep, that's what I'm here for. I'm your master, and you are my Padawan. Are you still just trying to get back to the ship, or are we exploring? What are we doing? I'll be honest.
Explore Dathomir to find a way back to the ruins. I'm just going where the directions tell me.
Alright. It's not me talking shit. It's more me more talking and not paying attention at all of what's actually
Yep.
going on here.
This must be where the Knight brothers live.
Ooh.
There? Unless we have no other choice. Yeah, that figures.
That guy had a family, man.
Oh no, poor guy. No one I can roast on here? No. Hmm.
It's the outsider. Slower to breathe.
Oh Jesus. Instant death. Okay, I'm gonna just have to restructure here, I think. Let's look.
I passed by the gate.
Oh shit. Run, run, get there, get there, get there. You're almost there. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Will I make it with no health? No, no. Jump scared me. I would have made it. I would have made it.
So before I get to The Force Awakens, I have 7 episodes of The Mandalorian, 19 episodes of Resistance, and 14 shorts I have to watch.
14 shorts. I will be very curious, especially in our conversation, on your take of Resistance and if it's something that is at all worth watching or not. Once
It's
you
not.
watch it in like the whole context of the thing.
It's not, because I know it never connects to the movies, really. As far as what's in the actual movies, like, I know in the novelization the characters of Resistance are in that big battle, but you never see them in the movie, and it never plays into the actual movie itself, so I'm gonna say
Yeah.
not really. I just, as far as like cohesion goes, that's another thing I'm gonna talk about. What's so hard about one shot of the cast of a live action version of the cast of the Resistance?
It all comes to JJ, I think, but we'll talk about that in our episode. I think our discussion.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil that debate because I think that'll be like the heart of the discussion.
Yeah. I have breakdown notes, and one of my things is called cohesion. I think there's a moment in time where it worked flawlessly. There's one thing I would change, but outside of that, it worked really well, and other times it's just not there, really.
I almost always get baited by that guy's like dying hit.
Yeah. But I do like once I read the article, speaking of like cohesion, of Jon Favreau was inspired by Game of Thrones for his current like Mandoverse, but essentially instead of um, a show that focuses on all of these like various houses, he wants to do a show about each house. So you're gonna have like your Mandalorian show, and then your Book of Boba Fett show, and your Ahsoka show, and then all of these shows are gonna like converge at times and cross over. But I think that could be cool and interesting and different, kind of.
Yeah, taking the notes from Marvel, but not like copying the whole entire formula
Yeah.
beat for beat,
Yeah.
which I think is something that all studios could learn from. They keep trying to do the exact same thing instead of like taking some ideas and
Yeah.
I think we got to admit at this point that the MCU is like a fluke in that shared universes in general are not gonna
Yeah.
be able to take off. Especially not like a new shared universe when you're like, oh, we're gonna introduce like the dark universe and we're gonna bring in all these characters. Oop, I forgot about that.
Well,
Slide.
well, and the thing is, you have to look at the MCU started as we're gonna make Iron Man, right? And then they made Iron Man. And then they were like, we're gonna make a Hulk movie. And they made a Hulk movie. And like they had in the back of their minds, like maybe one day we'll connect them. But like they focused on making the movies good, the movies that they were making good, rather than connecting the movies that they were making. And I feel like everyone now is too focused on connecting the movies that they're making.
And like right from the start too, like Iron Man, you get the connection like at the end with Nick Fury showing up, and there's Easter eggs here and there and stuff. But like the plot of the movie is very much its own thing and completes itself. Like the arc of Tony Stark ends by the end of the movie. He's grown and changed as a character.
Yeah, to me, there's a reason Man of Steel is the best movie in the DC EU. Because they were making a Superman movie, they weren't making the starting point of the DCEU. Granted, later on, I think that hurt the DCEU, but if they had just focused on, hey, we're gonna make a good Superman movie. Oh, we want to do Batman vs Superman. I understand maybe it's a little too early in the timeline, but I think it could have worked. If they had just made Batman v Superman instead of making Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, I think it could have been something really cool. And I still enjoy the movie, but I think it would have been better if they had just focused on making Batman v Superman and not Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. As an avid fanboy of that movie, I think
I,
that
I,
does make
I
sense.
enjoy the movie. I like the movie, but I think the movie starts to drop off when it becomes Dawn of Justice and not Batman v Superman. Thought you were gonna try to get the lightsaber throw.
Lightsaber throw. Look at that game changer. I don't gotta get myself in the middle of huge crowds and get myself wrecked. Oh, look, and I've got my destination right there. I'm almost there. Where I'm going, I can't quite remember, but
Something
to
with
the place that it says.
Astrium. The Astrium, right? I just remember it had ass in it. I thought that was funny because I compared it to
I thought I already found that. I thought that was like where the Night Sister like ambushed me with
Oh, yeah.
all the zombies and stuff.
We're going to the ruins. If you go back to the map, it'll tell you what your mission objective is. Explore that. Oh yeah, to find a way to the. Yeah, it's just go to the.
So I
ruins.
gotta jump down this thing, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Cause there's nowhere else to go up there.
Yeah, and there's a
Alright,
monster
let's-
right there too. Is that a Rancor? Yeah.
One of those things.
I would love to have someone play this game like right after watching Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
and Luke's like struggling with this one Rancor, and then Cal's just like running through him.
This was an arena once. The Knight Brothers only respect those with power.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Don't insult my lord.
Sorry, Jesus.
Fuck
You died for my
Jesus.
sins, and I'm just trying to make fun of you.
My favorite like meme I've ever seen is I guess according to the Bible, I don't know, I never really read it, not big on reading, especially fictional stories.
Ooh, roasted him.
Is that when Jesus died, he saw as Jesus was on the cross, he saw every sin that people would ever commit or something. I guess I don't know. Um, and so that means Jesus, while on the cross, saw like hours and upon hours of like creepy, overweight, hairy, unbathed men jerking it to hentai porn.
Yeah,
And
Jesus
he
was
was
like, I have
still
to
like,
die for
I'm gonna
these.
die for this.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, these hentai porn is what prominent thing that and influenced him. You know, he was like, oh God, just kill me. I'm like, it's over.
Yeah. It's over, Anakin. You have the hentai porn.
Anakin definitely watched hentai porn.
Oh yeah. He commissioned
Anakin
someone
would
to
be a huge
Google.
anime fan.
Yeah, he commissioned someone to make a like painting of Padme tied up with a bunch of tentacles. He had a mural above his bed of like Padme laying on the back of Kit Fisto's head with all of his like tentacles wrapped around her body.
Oh, but I watch these guys fight. Something tells me the Rancor is about to wreck these dudes, but who knows? The Rancor's getting his ass kicked right now.
Yeah, you might gotta go save a old buddy, old Moochie or whatever.
Ooh, he just wrecked those guys. Maybe not. Sorry, buddy.
For my sister.
Throw it at him.
Oh, you're right. Well, I don't have the power for it right now.
Oh.
No, I do.
I think this is your strength.
Thanks, BD. What we getting?
What's this?
I find a
Punch
lot
him.
of chests this mission. Power and control for my lightsaber emitter. I'm gonna have to give my lightsaber a whole makeover when we get back to the ship. I've been getting a lot of lightsaber parts today. I'm one of those people who could sit there forever and just like edit every little detail of my lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like I'm the person that plays like RPGs and stuff, and I'm just like, it's like a fashion simulator. You know, I'm like, okay, where do I go to get like the coolest looking armor?
And then like especially with a lightsaber, you can't even really see what it looks like at all.
I know it's like kind of there. The color you can tell and stuff.
Yeah, the
but,
color,
like,
but like the details and shit on it, not really so much. I hope at some point in Star Wars we get to a point. I want to see like a massive group of Mandalorians versus a massive group of Night Brothers and Night Sisters in a battle against each other. Give me that, George Lucas, you bum. You had to focus on Jedi and Sith when we could have had fucking Mandalorians versus Night Brothers and Night Sisters. What a moron.
hey, who knows? That could be the arc of Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Building back Mandalore so they could take Dathomir or something.
hell yeah.
I gotta there somewhere. I'm gonna wait. Here we go. Right over this guy. Right into another chest. What's that? Oh. What are we getting this time? It's gotta be a poncho. I've been getting a lot of lightsaber stuff.
That's gonna be a skin for the ship.
Another lightsaber part. Look at that. Power control part 2.
Oh, I remember this part. It's so
Oh,
weird.
okay.
For a game I haven't played in like a year and a half, when you come to parts and I'm like, I remember this.
Hopefully I didn't miss anything in that room. I just ran right through it, but... all the way up. Cal's got some impressive upper body strength. What is that?
That thing looks like trouble.
This fight is mine. You would fall for me. My coward. It's running away. Died with honor.
Yep.
Think you can match touch me?
Didn't do much for him.
My brothers hate me. No, outsider.
Ooh. Knocked him over. Look at that.
My brothers ain't shit.
They do have quite a lot of defense, though. There we go.
Help, please.
Give me that BD.
Work, BD.
Blocked, so I'm gonna go ahead and just right around the corner here.
Down on the corner.
Yep. Yep. That was gonna go bad for me. Alright.
One day someone was like, Darth Maul needs a homeworld, and now we have this.
This is like exactly what I would imagine Darth Maul's homeworld being.
Yeah.
Like just pure misery. And it's so fully realized, like in the Clone Wars, it's we see not a lot of like the actual planet itself. Like they'll go there and
You're trying to get up. You missed a path.
I did miss it. Right there. That's been my favorite part so far, just walking around these like fully realized versions of the
Yeah.
planets.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of Battlefront. It's just like being able to walk around like Maz Kanata's castle and shit like that, and walking
Mhm.
around Tatooine and.
Alright, now where's my... There it is, my shortcut. Bye-bye. I'm really curious about the Battlefront franchise because it's in like a critically rough place right now. People were not at all happy with that first one, not I blame them. It was like the most bare bones game
Only death awaits
of the year.
here.
And then like the second one was an improvement, but they had like some really bad problems with the launch.
Yeah. And I was just reading an article that it doesn't look like we're getting Battlefront 3, so.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
At least for now.
I still want my basically Grand Theft Auto and Star Wars game. You can make it PG-13. You don't gotta be able to like murder hookers. But just be like you're a low-level guy going on missions and you slowly rise up the ranks. Set it during the time of, I mean, people may not like it, set it during the time of the Empire, so you have like the Hutts, you have Crimson Dawn, you have all these different organizations you can pull jobs for, and
Oof. You have a lightsaber, Cal.
is that the sun from,
It's a Mortis crossover.
yeah. Good luck, buddy.
Oh, Jesus God. This is looking brutal. Oof.
God will not help
Hey.
you here, my friend.
Alright, decent damage in the lightsaber attacks. I can't really hit him. Back. Not doing a lot there. Alright. Heal me up.
Now, BD.
Alright, let's see. Yep.
And Luke Skywalker struggled against a goddamn Rancor.
BD.
This
What a
thing
bitch.
eats Rancors.
Luke Skywalker certified bitch.
He's a whiner, man. I don't know why anyone gives a shit about him. Luke Skywalker was best in The Last
Oh,
Jedi.
fuck. That was scary. Yeah, I'm getting railed on the second phase. I thought I was getting confident for a second, but now I know he goes off on that second phase. Oh. All right, next time. All right. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna go, to be honest. Got him almost halfway down. I can't believe he missed that Sabine casting.
I know, I feel so stupid.
Oops.
Oh well, that's what I get for not checking after 4:30 apparently. So next week Friday, my ass gonna be checking at fucking like 6 o'clock. The actress that they picked has a black belt in Taekwondo.
Oh, that's awesome. I wish I could remember who she was in The Warriors. I like that movie. It's in my top 20 of the year. This has like a 20% or something on Rotten Tomatoes, though.
Yeah.
What do critics know?
Yeah, probably after this I'll look up like some interviews with her and stuff, see what her voice sounds like.
I want to say she was like one of the friends or something of the girl. So not like a prominent character, but like really minor.
So would your bet be for Hera that they just get Vanessa Marshall?
I think so, especially...
Who, if anyone's watching and doesn't know, she voiced Hera in Rebels.
I think it's easier for roles that aren't the lead too. Like Ashley Eckstein is not like a leading actress. As much as I like her, she's not gonna like sell people to see it. You know.
Yeah, and she
And
doesn't
people
like.
know Rosario Dawson.
Not saying she has a bad body or bad body type, but she doesn't have like the Ahsoka body type. She's very like short and you know.
And I think the fact that she's a black belt in Taekwondo means like there's gonna be a lot of action with her character, and not only she's not gonna be like 1 or 2 episode type character.
I mean, I think if this show opens essentially with the Rebels epilogue, I think she's like a co-lead almost, but Ahsoka's
Yeah, that's
the
what
bigger
I'm
name.
feeling.
Ahsoka's the bigger name, so you just call the show Ahsoka. Where I thought the show might take place directly after Mandalorian, or maybe she comes in and like I mean, if we say 8 episode season, it could be shorter, it could be longer. But if she comes in like midway through season 1 and then kind of becomes a series regular after that.
Oh, this is when I'm gonna start being pummeled. I need to maintain my health longer than this. I'm already down to 1 stim. What was that? That was a very Dark Souls move right there. You gotta know what's coming or you're gonna get hit. This entire world is like they played Dark Souls and they were like, we can do that.
Yeah.
Giving me Blighttown vibes if anybody out there knows their Dark Souls levels. Which was infamously like a extremely difficult part of the first game. And it had this sort of like rundown wood kind of thing. That looks a lot similar to this.
You know what's a fun game that they should incorporate into Star Wars? Pac-Man. Like a Star Wars
like
Pac-Man that's canon.
Canon, it's gotta be canon.
It has to
It's
be
really
canon.
important that the Pac-Man adds to the universe, honestly. You gotta have Luke in there,
Yeah.
or it's bad.
And he's got to be a cool Luke that always makes the right decision and never makes mistakes, and is basically Superman.
And just says cool lines, and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
Like a Mandalorian.
Yeah. Like, that's why I think Mandalorian, best way to make Luke Skywalker, where he's not really a character, he's just like a prop, and that's why people like him in the Mandalorian.
Quite literally. Not even played by an actual actor. He's like a CG.
He's basically played by a
Creature.
computer. And that's not a knock on him in The Mandalorian. I think they used him well. I liked him in The Mandalorian, but he's not a character in The Mandalorian. He's a prop, where he is a character in The Last Jedi.
Might be a hot take, but like I would have been perfectly fine with like just Mark Hamill playing him, or maybe like a little bit of young age makeup. But like
You would have needed a lot. Okay, you're trying to
I don't
get.
really, and I wouldn't really care if he like looked way older than Luke would look at that time. You know,
I would have.
I think that would have been way more interesting than just like a computer character
But
from
like,
Battlefront 2 showing up.
Star Wars has always been about pushing visual effects and special effects. You know, going. You know, you got from the effects in A New Hope to Jar Jar Binks to um
Good
Tarkin in
lord.
Rogue One. I think that's
Come
just the
on.
next step of like, let's just
Alright,
make
just
a
kill me.
guy.
I do think that's the one thing I'll give it credit for, especially after watching that Mandalorian behind the scenes. It honestly made me feel like the scene a bit more than I did before, because I was like, "Oh, this actually was like really different for the CG dead to come back to life type of things." You know,
Plus the volume and everything is super cool. Like they're building
I'm
another.
getting railed by this guy.
Yeah, you're not doing that good.
I'm just not quite sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Am I just supposed to be doing this, like trying to hit him with my lightsaber? Because I feel like that's not going well for me.
Toss me one, BD.
I'm gonna watch it on YouTube and then tell you what this guy did that beat it.
I need help. Help, BD.
All right, reset. I will say that some of the boss fights in this game are just like not particularly interesting. It's just like get behind him, hit him with the lightsaber. Get behind him, hit him with the lightsaber. But this is a very cool boss design, so I'm okay with that. The duels have been really fun though, like when you're facing the second sister and the other inquisitors and that kind of stuff. Oh, okay.
BD, stem here.
Really fair move there, game. Oh, come on.
Toss me one, BD. Draw stem.
Oh, fuck off. I'm not doing this shit.
You're changing the difficulty.
It's starting to feel like bullshit to me. I won't let me move it. Cannot be changing combat. Alright, I'll just do it later.
Hey, BD.
Alright, whatever. feel like I'm doing like practically no damage on this dude at all. How am I doing? I'm gonna.
I will say you only have to get it like 3/4 damaged, and then it just goes away. It's like, I'm too injured, and flies away.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
Basically, what I saw is when it wasn't really moving a whole lot, it was just like putting random things down on the ground. He would just go and swing at whatever was on the ground, and then when it started moving and acting all crazy, he just got away. Which seems to be what you were doing anyways, but...
I was hoping I could grind for a second and get my lightsaber damage boosted, but I need 3 skill points, so I'm not gonna grind for that on the stream. I'll get this. Like, how am I not supposed to, how do I possibly avoid that attack? Like, it's all around him. Like, if I'm actually moving, but if I'm trying to fight him, like, I can't fight if I'm just dodging.
Yeah, what I saw with him when he fought, he was like right up close to like basically between his legs almost, just hacking away a lot of the time.
Fuck off, game. What this game really needs is a reset checkpoint option. Come on. Now you're not gonna hit me? I think I'll get this. What are my options here? I got story mode. I'm not going story mode. Let's just try it one more time. Oh, there's like a couple of targets to target. Doesn't look like it. Right. Okay, I'm starting to get this now.
I can feel it. You're gonna win them one time.
If not this time, I think I'll get it within the next couple tries.
Another step.
Alright, he's getting super mode now.
And that's when that guy just kind of walked away.
Oh,
Need assist.
so what did he just runs?
Yeah, he just kind of jumps around, flips around, gets out the fucking way.
Oh god. Full bullshit mode. So how am I supposed to beat the guy if I'm just running away?
When he goes all crazy like that, eventually he calms back down.
I'm not sure if I have to do that or not. I got this.
Trust me, Wadidi.
Okay. Now I feel dumb. You can target his legs and
What
like
was that?
stun him. You can target the guy's legs when he puts him down like that. And I think he gets like stunned for a second if you do. No, I guess not. He just wrecked me.
Alright, here's the trick. Attack the claws.
Yeah, that's what I would just figure it out. I was like, oh, I can attack these legs when he puts them down.
That
And it does good damage.
I'm watching a video of how to beat this person or beat this boss.
What the hell, dude? That literally is undodgeable, that first attack. It's like no matter where I am in the map, he hits me. But the second one I can miss.
Basically, what I saw was attack the claws on the wings, and then if you do enough damage there, it'll like turn blue, and you can use the force to pull it down and like just go fucking crazy attacking the head. You got that?
I do got that.
use the force to pull it down, or not.
Bitch. See, now that I know, I knew there was something to this. And now I feel good about it.
You might... No, it's...
Yup. Bad timing on that one. Oh, jump piece. Okay, there we go.
Help me.
Close call. Needed my health, I needed my force, but I wasted the stem.
Almost there.
Go.
Might be it.
Oh,
Nope.
I'm so close. I'm so close. If I don't get it this time, I'll be fine. I'll get it next time.
Yeah.
Now that I know the claw thing, I'll be fine. Oh, should have been looking at him. That was me.
Don't turn your back on the enemy, dog.
I think I got him. Get out of here.
R.I.P., buddy. Gone but not forgotten.
That was a fun one. One of those bosses that's hard, but it's not like
I think it's
complete
gone.
stupid. You know, like there's ways to beat it.
Let me look on you with my own eyes.
Climbing claws. Climb faster and oh, awesome. Okay, so now I can climb this part that I thought looked climbable but wasn't.
You just stole that off a dead guy.
I know. Brutal.
Don't fall.
I know, I can't afford that. I respawned, they're like, oh, you gotta fight the whole boss again.
No.
I don't think so.
No, it would just go to you stealing the gloves off the dead guy.
Beatty's got that red glow. He's scared. Don't worry, we got this.
Get off my screen, bitch.
It's a nice paint job on BD.
Screen, screen.
The strongest Night Brothers faced a rite of passage by venturing into the lair of this creature.
So you're a Night Brother
Interesting.
now.
I know. I'm officially part of the clan.
Well, I don't know if I'd use the word clan. That's not...
Not that clan.
Not the clan, just a clan.
A clan, you know, one of them, but not the.
Not
the
the
clan.
clan. You're a grand wizard. You're a Jedi, so you're a wizard. You're a grand wizard of the clan.
Yeah, it sounds worse when you say it like that. Oh, I have to think what did you say? I was like, surely that's where I'm supposed to go, but I guess not.
So Sabine Wren casting that we completely whiffed on.
Yeah.
buddy.
Oh jeez, there he is again.
Don't let it hit you.
Run. Cal,
Climb!
please.
Yeah, you didn't kill it. You aren't done with it. But, you know.
Of course.
We're gonna die.
No.
You just became lunch. Is that you doing it, or is that the game?
It is the game doing that. Oh jeez.
Ah.
Well, it's looking like it might be the end for little Calcastus here, folks.
Here we go again.
Press every button except for the one it said.
It's usually how that goes.
Whoa, 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 wait.
Alright. Oh boy. Oh jeez, Cal. Thought I was about to watch a brutal death on screen. There we go.
You would break every bone in your body.
Oh, that's cool. Look at that.
Oh, the faces.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready, BD. Jump. I don't know how we're gonna get down from this. Long drop.
Last drop, maybe forever. Oh. Wrong quote.
They fly now.
Fucking JJ.
This is certified awesome right here.
What? What'd you say?
This is pretty cool.
No.
I won't lie.
This is how Darth Maul spent his Saturdays.
Yeah, Darth Maul has like been there, bro.
You killed it, dick.
Yeah, I think he's dead this time.
You got a skill point out of it.
You okay?
I'll take it. Got myself an achievement.
I'm great. Wish I could say the same for this creature, though.
Alright. Enter the crumbled ruins. Oh, nice. We're gonna have a little puzzle going on. Puzzles in this game walk the line between really intriguing and
Mildly
ridiculously
infuriating.
annoying.
I like how you went ridiculously annoying and I went mildly infuriating.
Oh, I already have nearly full health. You must have refilled me or something.
Yeah.
Came down here for no reason. Oh well, might as well refill. This is potentially my favorite of the planet so far, I think. Really, really cool boss. Extremely unique level design in terms of like the aesthetics of it, and looks absolutely nothing like anything else in the game or anything else in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Look at this guy, poor man. He's just trying to survive, you know. Kill Jedi. Eat some like brothers, you know. Let's check this little crypt over here. Ooh, we do have an echo. I know it.
There is no place for you here. The brothers will kill you if you stay.
Come. I'm certain they are no match for your power.
Really curious about this wanderer guy. Oh, it just leads down to the same spot. Okay. Where are we going? Up this thing.
Friend of the show, Zach Romilius, is currently streaming on Twitch playing Call of Duty, and so I had to go comment on his stream.
Is he, which one is he playing? Vanguard or
Yeah.
Warzone?
Well, Vanguard.
Oh, I didn't even think I just jumped. Vanguard. I used to be extremely invested in Call of Duty,
Yeah.
and I've lost interest of it over time, as I just don't play as much online multiplayer stuff as I used to.
I
But
was never a video game person. I've never played Call of Duty once in my life.
before even movies or TV or anything else, my biggest like investment was video games.
I've always been very bad at them, so.
I've also been very bad at them, but I still enjoy them.
Help, please.
And I take on the challenge of hard games, even though I'm bad at them. Like Dark Souls, one of those like infamously hard games.
In Jedi Fallen Order.
Way harder than I ever would have guessed it to be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hold a candle to Dark Souls really. This is harder in like shittier ways.
Yeah.
It's like harder in the way of like I don't know where I am, where I'm supposed to go, or how to beat this puzzle. But there are some boss fights in Dark Souls that have like traumatized me for life. Like if you thought it was bad that it took me like 5 or 6 tries to kill that dude, there are bosses in Dark Souls where I just took a break for a week and came back and like, or like took me literal days of trying to beat. But then you get it in your head of like I have to beat this or I'm a piece of shit, you know? You're like I gotta win this game. Where am I supposed to go? Oh, right there. Maybe. Ooh,
Ooh.
boy.
By your
Look at that.
fingertips. By your fingertips.
That's the bridge into their village. Doubt they expected us to come back. Still, there's gotta be a stealthier way in.
Yeah, the fact that I'm not very good at video games is what always turned me away from multiplayer games because everybody else is just like so much better than me.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I play
not
Call
fun
of
to
Duty
get.
online and I'm just like embarrassed.
I tried playing, what's that game 12-year-olds love? Fortnite?
Fortnite?
I played that game for like 2 hours and I'm like, I'm not built for this.
Fortnite I have played an embarrassing amount of hours.
Honestly, I had no idea that these
I fuck with some Rocket League every once in a while, though.
What happened? You and the cutter on the sheep.
Fortnite always pulls me back in when they have some crazy event or some crossover, like when they have the Star Wars stuff once in a while, like I'll be out there buying the Millennium Falcon. Or like Kylo Ren costumes or whatever.
Yeah. Or
They had
Palpatine's
a really,
giving a
really good
speech.
DC run.
We have sacrificed too many. He's too dangerous.
There's too many of them. What are we gonna do?
No, take it for the
Oh, I finally
New
got a poncho
poncho.
material.
Poncho.
I really could use a good poncho.
El Poncho Villa.
Because this poncho is working, but it's not really, you know.
It's working, but it's not working, you know.
Oh, I can't go in there. I can go here though.
I'm gonna guess, shipskin.
Give me a lightsaber part.
What is it?
Yes, look. More lightsaber parts.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a whole collection to go through. I love to talk to like the level designer of this game and be like, oh, is there like a meaning behind this painting or is it just cool, you know? Is there some crazy lore? Like when you talk, is like...
I hope one
and
day
certain
there's a
stuff-
movie inspired by that painting. Like, started because some game designer just scribbled some shit on a wall, and now there's a whole movie based on it. Of
I
one,
would. That's very in character for Star Wars.
you know. At one point, George Lucas needed something to show that Anakin and Obi-Wan were friends, so they fought together in the Clone Wars, and now we have 3 movies and a TV series about it. So
Oh, not that way.
jump,
Certainly not that
not
way.
that way. I think you got to jump up.
Oh Jesus! I'm glad you weren't looking for that one.
I'm scrolling on the Facebooks.
Somehow, okay, there we go. Somehow I saw go with like the easy parts of these games.
No, Art LaFleur died, man.
Art LaFleur, you're gonna have to tell me who that is.
Did you watch the Santa Claus movies? With
Yes,
Tim Allen?
Christmas classics.
The Tooth Fairy, man.
Ah, okay, from those movies.
Heroes
It's
get
a weird
remembered,
pull.
but legends never die. Ugh.
I watch that movie all the time. That's like one of my Christmas staples. I watch it every year.
Yeah.
Probably sometimes more than once. Not great, but for some reason, really charming and fun to watch in the holiday season, you know? I always think of that scene where Tim Allen shaved his beard and then it all grows back immediately. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my life when I try and shave. And then the next day I look like a homeless person.
Cannot stand against us.
Oh my god. Okay, that was me. Getting too greedy. Getting too greedy.
And win, brother. Yes, will not. Where is your skill?
Help BD.
Where is your skill, bro? Where's my skill? Right there. I gotta commend the loyalty of all these characters in this game. It's like they are willing to get sliced.
Try harder, weakling. Yeah.
Now, BD. Fight me, you coward!
Oh my god, I just wasted a whole ass thing at force.
Help me, brother. Stop this now.
Yep. Oh, he's up there. Yep, not that one. Next one. Next one. Shoot me. Hit me.
Hit me!
There we go.
Come on! I didn't remember the Dathomir section of this game being this fucking long.
It's also because I'm struggled with that boss.
Nah, it's not that. I thought you just showed up, met the old guy that hasn't even happened yet. Well, you met him, but you haven't like talked to him really. And then
I think we did that earlier because when we got that double blade lightsaber, I had to do his first cutscene.
no, there's way more
I don't
to
remember
it.
what it was.
There's way more to it. You talked to him for like a minute, but like there's a lot more with him. I thought you literally went there, that happened, and you left. But you haven't even got to that part yet.
Yeah, it looks like there's a whole like tomb and stuff I'm gonna have to raid. Oops.
You're like Larry Croft, you know? Raiding tombs.
Yeah. Oopsie. Okay, maybe not this way then.
Larry.
Oh my goodness. Go. Okay, not that way. Bruh. Let me think. Okay.
Lawrence Croft.
I got this now.
Okay, with King Richard coming out this weekend, what's your favorite Will Smith movie?
Will Smith movie.
A guy who needs a comeback, according to you.
Look, I mean, if I wish I could pull out some names at the top of my head, but I really could use use a revival here. You know, you got the, especially in recent years. Oops. Well, give me 1 second to think. While I'm fighting this. How about you? You got any options ready to go?
Probably Independence Day.
Easy answer. I wish I could think of something more interesting.
Or Bad
than
Boys.
that.
Bad Boys 2. Probably Independence Day.
Oh,
or
Bad Boys 2 is a great one. I like Pursuit of Happiness a lot, even though it didn't get great reviews.
Yeah. I liked it. It was good.
A lot of moments with that really stuck with me.
Concussion had
No.
moments, but
This intruder must be dealt with.
I saw a trailer or like an ad for King Richard on YouTube today that referred to him as William Smith.
oh,
I was like, what?
that's wrong.
And it was like featuring an acclaimed performance by William Smith. So I was like, who's that?
Fuck yeah! Got some casting news for you. We talked about some Star Wars casting news. Now it's time for Marvel casting news. Delroy Lindo joins Mahershala Ali in Marvel Studios' Blade.
That's incredible.
I
that's
love
like really
Delroy Lindo.
exciting
He's
casting.
a great. He was the only good part of the Five Bloods.
Look at this view. I thought the Five Bloods was really good.
It was good,
Not
but it
one-
was
not one
because
of
of
Spike
him.
Lee's best, but I thought he was really, really good in it. And
Yeah.
he's also really good in The Harder They Fall. He's having a year for himself.
Oh, I
He's
still
got-
need
he's
to
done
watch
a lot of
that.
good stuff.
That's some priority watch list this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
think
was
Delroy
scrolling
Lindo
through and,
is
like,
a really, really good pick for Blade.
The first time I read it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then, like, I reread it in my mind, and I'm like, I'm hyped now.
Does Wesley Snipes appear in any way in that movie, you think?
I think so. Not in, like, a weird multiverse way, but in, like,
Like a cameo in a bar type of way?
yeah.
I think that's probably the right call. But I also think there's a
He's
the
been
multiverse, who even knows?
and he's been saying like some supportive things on it, like about it. He doesn't seem like salty. Like I think originally when Mahershala Ali was cast, he sounded kind of salty, like wishing he could come back. But recently, he sounded more positive about it. So, and I don't think it's more like they cast me in a cameo, so I'm gonna pretend. I think it's more of just like him, kind of accepting it.
He
I
has
guess.
to know, like, if if they're trying to start a franchise, they're gonna want to bring in someone somewhat younger than him. Although Mahershala Ali is not exactly young.
Yeah. What kind of role do we see for Delroy Lindo? Let me actually read the article because it might say, but
I hope he's playing like a vampire or something
Close,
cool,
but
you know?
got a little sidetracked.
Breeze is acting strange. He swears he saw someone outside the mansion. Dathomir is getting to him.
Pretty sure that's who he is.
Are you all right?
I'm not seeing things, so yes. I'm coming out of a Night Brother village now, hoping to get back on track.
Hey,
Sounds
Gats,
like you're
he
happy.
was having a hard time when I went and
Yeah.
visited him in the ship
Keep
for
me
a
in on
second.
that.
He was really stressed. He was like, okay, if I'm in the ship, I'm safe. You know, I've got Jedi, I'm good. And I'm curious how this is going to go. Does not feel like a place you want to spend a long time at. They're not good for your mental health, I wouldn't think.
No announcement yet
There's
of
so many.
like what he's going to play. I don't know enough really about
Yeah, I don't know much about Blade, really. I've read him in a handful of like crossover things, but I've never read like a Blade comic. Well, I probably will read a handful before the movie comes out, because I try to do that for Marvel stuff.
Running away.
motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill.
I'm currently making my way through uh, the Hawkeye run that is predominantly the source of the
Not for
show.
action. Are you making your way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and they slow down? Do 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 do. No response, alright. I'll shut up now.
I mean, I got the reference, but then I got distracted by the guys I had to fight.
I get it.
I lack conviction. I've been playing this for 24 hours, if not more. I think I was at like 20 or something when I started it today.
Johnny threw out. I posted in there on our movie change up group chat, and Johnny replied, "He better be Whistler. He's perfect."
Not sure who Whistler is.
I'm just replied, "Sounds great."
Thanks, Johnny. I'm glad someone knows Blade comics too.
Yeah, that's what Johnny's for. Knowing shit.
Well, alright, I think I went the wrong way. Yeah. I've got to go. Oh no, I got the right way.
Oh my god. No way.
No way, what?
Alright, so in the tweet I saw that told me about him being cast, one John Roca had the Twitter reply, "Let the Del Renaissance continue." Okay.
Yeah.
Top comment on the article on Reddit
No sign of
in the
that.
movie subreddit
I wonder if the Night Brothers
says, "I'm here for the Del Renaissance." And the username is Studboy69. And I'm like, I hope that's John Roca's Reddit username, Studboy69.
Yeah, it's like his alternate account.
Yeah.
My clothes will find me.
Studboy69. That'd be a hilarious username for John Roca.
I will avenge my.
I like John Roca. He's a good guy.
Stim BD. Good job. This must be the tomb.
I do think we're in the middle of a genuine like renaissance of his career. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get an Oscar within the next like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I thought he was Oscar worthy and the Five Bloods and
Yeah,
got, like,
definitely. I thought it, yeah. Like, if they had gave him one for that, I would have not been upset about it.
We've reached the tomb of the Jets in search of an asteroid.
Oh, yeah, I remember what goes down. I think.
Hey, you've been hyping up that something cool comes by the end of this planet, so I'm looking forward to it.
Whatever that was, it's gone.
Okay, so it's locked. I'm gonna probably run around down there and see what I can figure out. Oh. Oh, what the hell? I'm in a flashback. Look at this.
Oh.
I'm a little baby. Little baby cow. I'll get myself a little deflector thing like Luke had, and then on the Millennium Falcon. Look at that. Little details in the world. Holocron right there. Cool. Anything cool over here? Oh, just a bunch of other blaster orb things. Where are we at?
Hey, Cal.
Oh boy, this is not gonna go well for me.
Ready for a rematch later?
Yeah, anytime.
Sounds good.
That feels like foreshadowing Clone Trooper.
All right then. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so I guess there's this character, Jamal Afari, who Whistler in the Wesley Snipes Blade movies was based on. But he's black, and Whistler in the movie was white, so.
We're getting new orders
Interesting.
soon. Finally.
I'm gonna have to give
Be going from this dump.
myself a rewatch of the Blade movie before this new one because I barely remember that movie.
Yeah, same.
It's okay. I believe it once Master DePaul says so.
Speaking of your master,
Oh yeah, I better go.
They couldn't have just cast a kid.
you're in a rush.
Master DePaul's called me for training.
You got this, kid.
Oh. Surely this all works out very wholesomely.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun.
A lot of really on the nose dialogue that I love in Star Wars.
Padawan, it's time for instruction.
Yes, Master?
Reach our position. What is he waiting?
I like the Clone Trooper who's like, oh, we just got new orders. And I'm like, yeah, you did.
You ever wanted a front row seat to a big event?
Absolutely.
You're about to get one.
Oop, not making that jump.
Plan your path before you commit yourself.
Okay, Jaro. Plan my path before I commit myself. Oops. Meant to go. Oh, not that way. I'm getting. So my goal is to reach him up there.
Yeah. Want me do the YouTube search?
No, I got this.
Get a move on, Padawan.
Get a move on, Padawan. I'm doing it. I'm just not what they would call smart, you know? I think I'm just gonna try this one. I guess.
Such is failure. Life and death.
That's a very frustrating part of this game. It's like you can grab stuff until we don't want you to grab stuff, and then you can't grab stuff. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to be doing here then? But that happens in like tons of video games like this. Uncharted had that really badly, and this is very much an Uncharted game.
Try again.
It's like you can grab a ledge only when we specifically want you to grab a ledge. Otherwise, you'll fall to your death and die.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to grab that ledge.
This ledge right here.
Not there. The stuff that sticks out. You see,
Oh,
the
okay,
two that
yeah, I
are
know
to the
what you're
right
saying.
stick out a little bit. Grab onto those.
Mm-hmm. So these ones that stick out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can grab those. You can grab that little tiny ledge, but you can't grab this huge opening. So why are you going that way? nice. Thanks for that game. It was a. They had to be that one. They were like, you worked hard enough.
Whoa! Cheap shot, Commander.
Focus. Were you concentrating, you would have anticipated this distraction.
I mean, I did fine.
Join me.
All right, here we go. Master, open the door.
We will begin with physical preparation.
Or I was fucking with you and it's just a normal thing.
Yep,
Fricke
very
is secure.
possible.
We move out from Magito shore.
Would not be
Yes.
out of character for you.
Master, are you okay?
Ooh,
What's happening? Why did the commander just...
Padawan, something terrible is happening. Clones betrayed us. There are no answers to your questions. Not yet. We need to get off this ship. Quickly. Get to the escape pods. Use the maintenance halls. We trained for this. Do you remember?
Yes, Master. Well, what about you?
I will create a distraction and meet you. If I am not there when you arrive, depart without me. I will find you on Braga. Do you understand?
Yes, Master.
They're coming. I will seal the blast doors, but if any cross your path, do not hesitate. Go. May the force be with you. Go. Go!
this is stressing me out already.
There he is. Shoot and kill.
No, stop!
DePaul's on the move. We're gonna need backup.
D. Bradley Baker, you
Pull that
ass.
through.
I think you're supposed to go through that
Yeah.
gate. Maybe use the force, I don't remember.
Oh. That would make sense. It is Star Wars.
Use the force, Tristan. I'm so mad both of us have characters named after us and well, not named after us, but we share a name with a character in Star Wars, and yours is a cool Mandalorian and mine's a fucking weird nerdy bird thing named Joseph.
The music in this is so good too. Man, this is already breaking my heart.
Reporting casualties. DePaul has taken out multiple squads. Shoot on sight. Copy that.
Understand. What changed?
What was that? Someone's in the maintenance halls.
Shit, you can hear the turbo lift. How much further after that?
Oh, they got that classic alarm sound right out of New Hope. Alright, I got distracted by the sound design. Where am I going? I don't even have BD1. That's right. I'm on the turbo lift, aren't I? Just jump and see if I die. I do.
Look up, I think, maybe. Across.
I think so. Maybe I can force pulls. Oh, I can right there.
Right there.
Sometimes it's the easiest answer that I'm just not looking at, you know?
I have eyes on the small Padawan.
Oh,
Turbo lift.
dang. I feel bad for these clones, to be honest with you. Like, every time I'm killing one of these, I'm just like, man.
Him out. Let me go after T'Pol.
Ooh, I like that. That was really cool. Because this is...
On your lightsaber!
Sorry, Master.
Keep climbing! I'll meet you up ahead!
I like that because, you know, he couldn't force pull his lightsaber that time, but he will in a few years. When he's in a similar situation.
So when I told you a big thing was happening this episode, or this like time before you leave, were you thinking Order 66?
I wasn't sure. Look at this. I love the interior design of Star Wars, man. Is there a more iconic franchise with like better interior design than this? This like a hallway is iconic Star Wars.
We must activate it if we're to escape.
Yes, Master.
I did figure we'd be building to Order 16 because they've been giving us so many flashbacks with this master. But I didn't expect it to be such a lot, like an actual level that I'm playing. So I'm really liking this.
But he won't be getting through.
I go. Nope. 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 No. 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 No.
Just wanted to make sure there was no secrets or nothing. Yeah.
There you go. You might want to watch that window for some. Or not.
What's that sound? Get ready.
Move, Pedal.
Ooh, what a
You have
badass.
to leave now.
Oh jeez.
Control control! Now hurry!
Ooh. Brutal. That was stressful.
I overloaded the ship's reactors. The explosion will mass escape. This war is not over, my Padawan. Hold the line. Wait for the Jedi Council signal. Remember, trust only in the Force.
Yes, Master.
That's why I said when we started this game, Gerard T'Pol is like one of my favorite Jedi.
Yeah, he really did a great job in that sequence. Cause so many of the Jedi just went down with like 1 or 2 kills in them, you know.
Gerard
Pretty
T'Pol went
easy.
fucking ape shit.
Padawan. It is time for instruction. Feeble display.
So is it worth the hype?
It was definitely worth the hype.
You are a disappointment.
I could watch a million Order 16s and still think they're awesome.
You lack discipline.
You
That's
wrecked
like
your ship.
such a fascinating moment of Star Wars.
Yeah.
When hope is just completely like eliminated from the galaxy, and there's just this tiny, tiny little bit of
Yes. My blood is on your hands, apprentice. A weakling, a traitor. You are no Jedi! No!
Oh boy, that was a lot to take there, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was awesome. I mean, you were building up to something cool happening, and I'm assuming that's like the cool thing that's gonna happen. Because
Yeah,
that was pretty.
there's some dope shit that happens the rest of the game. It's not like it's all downhill from here. There's a final showdown in the game that's pretty cool. But yeah, that was definitely the big moment I've been trying to get to all game.
Yeah, that was definitely worth the wait. I mean, talk about like a front row seat to Order 66. You're like right in the middle of it, you know, and I wasn't sure if it'd be like just a cutscene or a quick flash or something like that, but the fact that it was actually a level I could play was really cool.
BD,
And
thanks.
you just feel the terror
Let's just
of,
get outta
of
here.
experiencing that.
I can't explain BD. Not sure I even understand.
And they went and brought in all that Star Wars music right out of the movies.
I'll say I didn't warn you.
Leave me alone.
Leave you alone, lost, and defenseless in this dangerous place. Never.
Okay, enough of this. Who are you really?
Oh, that's a cool moment too.
Haven't done it much. Former Jedi, like yourself. We have much in common.
I doubt that.
Oh? We both survived the Purge. My troops betrayed me. I was forced to strike them down, and I escaped. This desolate place. The darkness here. It almost took me.
Think it kind of did, buddy.
Yeah, I feel like you've been taken.
Conquered it.
When the Night Brothers follow.
Yes. These savages only respect strength. As we both know, the Force, the most powerful ally.
Oh, you use the Force to seize power. That's everything the Jedi stood
These
against.
are dark times.
He's right.
Who must if we do not stand with each other?
I don't need your help.
That broken lightsaber has a different tale. You saw something in there, didn't you?
I'm gonna be Terran Malicos for Halloween next year.
Has he been in anything else before?
No, I mean, he might have been something else since, but this is his debut. Like, this is the first thing he was in.
Join my family.
I'm not gonna say he hasn't been in a comic or anything since, but
You how to control its power.
Join my family, and I will teach you to control the power. Familiar words, Malicos.
Mr. Merrin, you overstep your bounds.
For years, you said the Jedi orchestrated the massacre that killed my sisters. Yet here one stands, and you seek only to bring him into your family.
You were told to deal with it. Clearly you lack the power, little witch.
Power. You are mad, Malicos. Dothamir has unmade you, and my misplaced loyalty has allowed you to lead the Night Brothers astray.
he's only ever appeared in this game.
The Jedi, the Night Sisters of Dothamir, do not turn on their kind.
I wouldn't have been surprised if he was some random side background character in the Clone Wars or something in
Oh
there.
yeah, definitely.
Their graves are all around.
Oh god.
Time to go.
You know those faces?
I know the faces.
Foolish girl! This power is beyond your control!
You both shall learn. When you face one night sister of Dathomir, you face us all!
Ew.
No.
Alright, my objective now is run.
Yeah.
Just please don't get killed by these people.
You have no lightsaber anymore, so
Yeah, that Order 6 cutscene really like got me from enjoying the story to being like very invested in Kel.
does that change your statement earlier where I said I think the ending leaves this possibility of a sequel open? But you were like, I don't really want a sequel to this. I'd rather have something new. Does that change that, or do you still rather have something new?
It depends definitely on how this wraps up, but I would like to see more Kel.
Captain, prepare for takeoff.
Where am I going? This way, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sad to see more Kel and something else, but at this point in time, I would like Fallen Order sequel to at least be like a different time.
Yeah.
Although I would love to get Cal in something.
What if he appeared in like Kenobi or something? Be another 5 years later.
Could work. Depends on how they work it out. I'm not sure how I feel about Obi-Wan running until I got the Jedi.
Yeah.
Get us out of here!
Let's get out of here. Yes, good idea, Cal.
What you do, kid? I got dead witches crawling all over my ship!
Just go!
What happened? Did you find the tomb? Your master's lightsaber.
I saw him. Master Paul. I saw the day he died. I saw what I did. Now it's destroyed. I couldn't save him.
Cal, you were only a child.
No, I know I could have helped him if I'd been stronger and braver, if I would have listened to him. I could have helped him. I know it.
Cal, it's time I told you everything that happened to me when I escaped the Empire. They brought Shirley in the room. And when I saw her eyes, they showed me what I had caused. She was an inquisitor. And something in me gave. And I lost all control. And to the dark side. And I killed them all. Every last one of them.
Not just the men, but the women and the children too.
Except for her. And for years, I couldn't forgive myself. I was a wreck. Because I had all this rage.
Despite
And I
all
tried to put it down, but there was no hiding from myself. And all I wanted to do was die. But then I
Giggity.
learned about the Holocaust. A spark of hope that there could be a future. That we could move on. Get up. I can't change what I did no more than you can change what happened to your master. It's in the past. But Cal, you have to make a choice to move on.
How?
You're gonna start with this. You are going A new one.
Back to Ilum. This is the future Starkiller base, correct?
Yeah.
Cal, you will be tested.
Yeah.
For
I'm ready.
herpes.
I don't mean just here. Every Jedi faces the dark side. And it's very easy to fail.
You're still struggling with the dark side. Even after cutting yourself off from the Force.
You will always struggle. But that is the test. It's the choice to keep fighting that makes us who we are.
I guess it's about time I find out who I am.
All right. Let's go find out who we are.
Alright. I'm gonna pause it here. And then
Heading out
restart.
into the snow, boys. We'll see. Let's get some plot moving here. Still no
Alright, give me
lightsaber though.
just a second. I'm gonna pause it here and end this session for now so we don't have a 3-hour wrap up. So we're pausing it here. Come check us out next week for, I believe, part 7 of our playthrough of Jedi Fallen Order. You know, we just got through Order 66. Next time you see us, we're going to be trying to become a full-fledged Jedi, finding our own crystal on Ilum.
I'm itching for this.
Yeah, I've been Joe Fricke. He's been Tristan Mayer. And without further ado, goodbye.